What's up everybody, welcome to FoundFlix. On this Ending Explained, we will be looking at last year's Friend Request, a social media horror movie showing us the dangers of the internet. But first, it's time to vote on the next Ending Explained. As a thank you for reaching 500,000 subscribers, this vote will be for the two most requested movies I've ever gotten since I started the channel. The first choice is The Witch, where in 1630 a New England family is tested when their youngest son is taken and soon believe witchcraft is behind it. And the second is The Babadook, where a troubled widow discovers that her son is telling the truth about a monster that entered their home through the pages of a children's book. Make sure to vote on which one you'd like to see by commenting below or voting in the poll on the community tab. Back to today's movie, Friend Request. And if this reminds you of that movie Unfriended, well, you're right. And while Unfriended was pretty terrible, it looks like a masterpiece compared to Friend Request, that's for sure. Luckily, the movie is at least terrible in a funny way, so let's get explaining. For some reason, the opening of the movie is a framed narrative. You know, one of those things where you see a scene and then it cuts to 2 weeks earlier until we eventually come back to that scene 30 minutes later. Here, it feels more like a waste of time and doesn't add anything to the movie, as the movie just starts during a college class with the professor entering, telling everyone to chill the fuck out because he's got some bad news, informing them that Marina Mills has committed suicide. And everyone in class is like, oh nah, not Marina, but I'm wondering, who is that? By the way, who are any of you people? Because they don't establish anything here other than some girl killed herself and these two girls are kinda upset about it. Of course, now we cut to 2 weeks ago to find out what the heck is even going on in the first scene, officially meeting psych student Laura, who lives with her friends Olivia and Izzy. And we learn that Laura is one popular lady on social media, getting so many friend requests because she is cool and lives such an interesting life. As we see in our only character development done via Facebook post showing Laura hanging with her crew and doing volunteer work and stuff. The opening clearly wants us to think that Laura has a perfect life, or their version of it. And all of these early scenes introduce what I guess is kind of the theme song of the movie, because it pops up a ton of times throughout. And I'm not sure what they were going for, but it doesn't really fit the mood here. Don't you feel it, guys? Oh, don't you feel the power? But soon, Laura's perfect life will be upended after a chance encounter with a lonely girl she randomly makes eye contact with. The lesson here? Never look at anybody ever. Later, Laura discusses the girl Marina with her friends gathered around looking at her profile, seeing she has 0 friends. They dig deeper into her profile, seeing weird bits of animation like a girl in the woods staring at her own reflection and then something appears behind her. After seeing all this, Laura feels bad for Marina, deciding to add her as an online friend to Marina's delight. To her, of course, the two are now #1 besties, and she immediately starts spamming Laura with constant messages, which she eventually starts ignoring, and even photoshopping a picture of the two of them together. Ooh, creepy! Becoming increasingly concerned, Laura digs deeper into Marina's profile, getting to the dreaded load older post at the bottom of the feed, which after loading reveals a bunch of creepy videos like people without faces and a pregnant woman with symbols carved into her stomach. Isn't that how it always is with people's feeds? Somewhat normal stuff at the top, but once you get to the load more post, it's a terrifying land of death and darkness. On the night of her birthday, Laura gets an online call from Marina asking if she got all of her messages. Laura says yes, and Marina starts getting worried that she did something wrong. Laura brushes her off, telling her she'll see her in class tomorrow. But Marina, having already invited herself to Laura's birthday, asks about tonight. And Laura lies, saying she's only going to dinner with her boyfriend Tyler. Well, that won't blow up in her face, since of course, like a complete moron, she takes a bunch of pictures at dinner and posts them to Facebook so everyone, including Marina, can see, making it clear that Laura was lying to her. The next day, Marina confronts her and Laura apologizes, offering that she didn't mean to hurt her. But Marina is upset anyway, saying she has been working on a present for her for 2 weeks, and she freaks out, going completely bonkers, grabbing Laura, and the two tussle, resulting in Marina's hat being pulled off, showing everyone at school her bald spots that she has been hiding, and completely humiliating her in the process. They mentioned earlier that Marina has a kind of impulse control disorder that causes her to have an irresistible urge to pull out her hair, and here we see how severe that really is for Marina. After this, Laura has had it, unfriending Marina, her profile showing once again she has 0 friends. At her apartment, Laura hears a scream and after searching finds a mirror similar to the ones from Marina's profile, getting closer to it and seeing through it a forest on the other side. A person in black appears walking towards the mirror, getting closer and closer to the front. Before it reaches her, something appears right behind Laura, all wet and weird looking, but is gone when Olivia flips the light switch on and the mirror is now just a normal looking design. After this sequence, we are brought full circle back to the opening scene, learning once again that Marina has committed suicide after everything we've seen so far. Wow, didn't that just blow your mind, guys? This scene is the same scene from earlier, but it's now. Even after her death, Marina becomes even more mysterious, with Kobe learning that there won't be a funeral for her as they haven't recovered her body. And no one knows who she is, as all records of her have been erased from the school's database. But things only get stranger when Laura is woken from a message from Marina? What? How is that possible? Laura clicks, seeing a video with a drawing of her. Must have been Marina's birthday present to her, which she then pulls away angrily, setting on fire, and hangs herself with the fire burning below. Tyler quickly tries to delete it, but is unable to, getting an unknown error. Unknown error? That's the spookiest kind of error there is. The next day, Laura finds she is losing friends on Facebook. Oh my God, you guys, it's an emergency. It's because somehow the video of Marina's suicide was shared by Laura's profile, and now the whole school has seen it. And after meeting with the dean, she is told to delete her profile, but can't do that either. Unknown error. Ah! So she gets on the phone with Facebook, like, get this dead bitch off my friends list. But Zuckerberg is no help either. So she turns to her super cool hacker friend Kobe, 2 words, B. He opens up a magical matrix coding window on his computer, showing her that her profile looks highly unordinary. Rather than normal code, it looks like a bunch of symbols made up of the Wiccan alphabet. You know what this means? Marina, she's a computer witch, which is definitely what they should have called the movie. And after her death, Marina has returned as a vengeful spirit, turning on Laura's friends as punishment for her unfriending her. Yep, that's the plot of the movie. First up to die is the fat guy, Gus, who is literally on the phone with his girlfriend asking her to get him chocolate, because he's a bit fat, you see. But then his phone starts glitching out, and he notices his computer screen nearby is dark, his own face reflected in the black screen, and goes to a door, seeing a weird clown vampire picture, and goes inside seeing bunk beds, and up above spots an oddly placed wasp's nest. Then looks down, seeing 2 boys with no faces standing there. Gus escapes into the elevator, but doesn't get too far as the elevator abruptly stops. A figure reaches out, grabbing him, and a bit later Izzy comes home calling the elevator, whose doors open, revealing her boyfriend all bloodied and slamming his head into the wall repeatedly. After witnessing this, Izzy is left in the hospital to recuperate, blaming Laura for Gus's death and everything weird that's been happening. And now a video has been posted on Laura's profile of Gus beating himself to death in the elevator. Back with computer genius Kobe, they analyze Gus's video, hearing a buzzing sound, identifying it as black wasps, which according to him are associated with evil, and follow witches around acting as their protectors. So the 2 break into Marina's room looking for any more information, and come across a childhood drawing of the clown seen by Gus before his death, and a photo of a class of students, including Marina as a youngster. And mysteriously, 2 of the boys' faces look angrily scratched out. This photo leads Laura to the school Marina attended as a child, where she finally starts to learn her history. The headmaster remembers that Marina had a tough go of things there, seeing in flashback 2 ginger boys popping up behind her, and saying that she was very sensitive and always alone, fleeing into a fantasy world via her computer. And we learn that 2 children in her class were killed by black wasps. The no-faced ghouls seen earlier that once were kids, seen scratched out in the picture, implying that since a child, Marina has been a witch of sorts, and the black wasps were protecting her from the boys who were harassing her by killing them. The headmaster continues that Marina found dark corners of the web, and would find her just staring at the computer, with nothing on the screen at all, only her own reflection. Sound familiar? Gus had the same thing happen to him, seeing his own reflection in the black computer screen earlier. Based on a post from Marina's profile, Kobe looks into the idea of black mirrors, learning of black mirror cults who use witchcraft, and finds a picture of a scrying ritual, which bears striking resemblance to how Marina killed herself. And so we see a laptop screen as treated as sort of a modern take on these ritualistic black mirrors. The idea is the witch burns themselves in front of a black mirror and becomes a demon or evil spirit who gets revenge by possessing people and killing them. Next to face Marina's wrath is Izzy at the hospital, seeing her phone turn dark and coming across a heavily burned woman at a bed nearby that rises, chasing after her. She runs into the hallways, finding the area empty with no one around. She escapes to another room, finding herself dead in a bathtub. Izzy tries to calm herself down, assuring her that this isn't really happening, but Marina appears with bugs buzzing all around her. We cut away before seeing Izzy's fate, but later the cops show Laura video of what happened, witnessing her going nuts and in the end slitting her own throat. Naturally, Marina posts this video to Laura's profile, causing her to lose even more friends on Facebook. Oh no! Could things get any worse? Not only are her friends actually dead, but she's also losing social media followers too? Ugh. After finding Marina's real name from her school, Tyler breaks into the records room at the hospital he works at and finds a file on her mother, Ada, in a place called Moore's Grove, which he researches, discovering a fire happened there years ago that consumed the entire farm, leaving only one survivor. Moore's Grove was a commune said to be a cult, where Marina's mother lived until someone burned the place down. Pregnant at the time, they kept her husk of a body alive until Marina was delivered, referencing the pregnant lady with witch symbols carved into her stomach seen on Marina's profile. And the crispy woman that chased Izzy around is meant to be Marina's mother after she was found at the farm. Most importantly, they learned based on the scrying ritual, the way to defeat Marina is to find the original mirror she burned herself in front of and destroy it. The black mirror being her laptop. Meanwhile, Olivia is at the apartment packing up, ready to get the heck out of Dodge, but it's too late for that as she now starts hearing whispering noises, following them to a computer which cuts to black, again leaving her reflection. Then Marina appears, unleashing a swarm of wasps that emerge from the bald spots on her head. Yeah! Frantically, Laura and Tyler head to help Olivia, but sploot! She falls out of the sky, landing right onto the hood of their car. Somehow Olivia is still alive after the fall, but Laura has more pressing problems. She's down to only 21 friends! So Laura has no time to waste and leaves Tyler to tend to Olivia at the hospital, heading to Moore's Grove with Kobe, where hopefully Marina's laptop is located. Before they make it back to the hospital, Olivia comes to, looking most certainly possessed, and attacks a cop before shooting herself with his gun. Kobe and Laura make it to the charred remains of Moore's Grove, and Kobe gets a message on his phone, his screen turning black, and freaked out, he tosses the phone away. The two become separated, and Kobe spots a black hooded figure who walks towards him, then disappears when Laura shows up, saying she's not here, but Kobe says there's one last place to check. The basement. They head into the catacomb-like area of the basement, finding the walls covered in Wiccan writing, and somehow Kobe has disappeared. Laura finds him staring intently into a mirror and taps him on the shoulder, bringing him back to reality. He apologizes, saying she can't hurt anyone else if you're dead, stabbing Laura in the gut. She gets away, Kobe chasing after her through the woods, and now Laura stumbles onto what she has been looking for this whole time, seeing 3 towers in the distance, matching it to an article about the Gingers and a drawing of the building by Marina. At the factory, Laura spots a wasp nest and the murdered boys momentarily behind her, but continues deeper inside. She then gets a phone call from her mother, who's crazed, and her mom starts pulling out her hair, picks up a big kitchen knife, and leaves the room, the call cutting off abruptly. Well, she might not be dead. She might have just needed to cut a cake, maybe? No. She's dead. Although perhaps all hope isn't lost for Laura, as Tyler finds her and the two reunite. Phew! Good thing Tyler's here, he'll know what to do. But about 5 seconds later, he gets stabbed in the neck by Kobe. Oh well, never mind. Guess she's on her own again. Kobe chases after Laura, eventually cornering her in a corridor, but Marina unleashes a swarm of wasps on Kobe, mercilessly stinging him to death. And for some reason, Marina appears as a little girl to her. Laura crawls after the child, starting to suffer from her wound, following a trail which leads her to Marina's charred body, again hearing her calling out to Laura to come closer. Laura is drawn to a computer in the room, which is Marina's black mirror she's been searching for, and suddenly she finds herself outside in the woods where out of nowhere Marina appears lunging at Laura. We then cut to sometime later at a school, seeing a group of girls eating lunch, and nearby Laura sits alone, now looking all dark and disheveled. And that's the end. Laura has essentially become the new Marina, the final punishment for her. Since she didn't want to be friends with Marina, she is now forced to live the lonely life that Marina once did, not the one full of beach jogging and tons of online friends to fill her life with meaning. But what I think actually happened with Laura looking in the black mirror and then in the forest is that Marina has possessed her body, which isn't out of the realm of typical abilities for a spirit. Because Laura isn't a computer witch too, her body didn't get burned up like Marina's. She's still alive, she's just all goth looking now. It makes sense that Marina took over her body as she was the one that was wanting friends so badly. So Marina is hoping to try once again with a new set of girls to be friends with. And hey, maybe things will work out differently for her this time. Okay, I did mention details as to what the deal is with Marina throughout the video, but I'm sure it's all still pretty confusing. So let me try to summarize and clarify it the best I can. Marina's mother was part of a witch cult which uses black mirrors as a medium for a process called scrying, which allows them to see into the other side. Pregnant with her daughter, it appears that Marina was intended for some kind of ritualistic birth. A fire at the commune burned the whole place down, leaving her mother essentially dead. However, Marina miraculously survived and was born without incident. It could have been that someone like the neighbors that didn't approve were trying to stop the delivery/ritual, and that's why they burned the place down. And in the end, the ritual still did indeed go through with Marina surviving. So she could be considered a witch throughout her life, as the wasps associated with witches protected her from the abuse of kids at her school. But she doesn't really have supernatural powers or anything until after she moves over to the other side by killing herself. An extension of scrying, if a witch has no other way out, they burn themselves in front of a black mirror and after dying becomes a demon or evil spirit fueled by revenge. As far as the technology aspect, since a child at the boarding school, Marina was obsessed with computers, staring at the black screen as we learned from her headmaster. So this is what becomes her black mirror she uses to kill people from the spirit world. Via the computer screen, she gets them to stare into the screen, which lets them see into the spirit world where she is, and she is able to possess them and force them to kill themselves, as seen with Laura's mom and friends. And later in life, Marina became addicted to the internet and having online friends. And that's why her spirit specifically became attached to technology like phones and printers, or why we see the Wiccan symbols in the code on Laura's Facebook profile. Marina is essentially possessing it. Computer witch, like I said earlier. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Hey, I'm just here to explain things. I can't make them, good. And with that, we have come to the conclusion for my ending explained on friend request. What did you guys think of the movie and its ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and vote on our ultimate ending explained vote. And thank you so much, guys, for 500,000 subs. I honestly can't even believe it. Love ya!